Hello, everybody. It's about that time. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from the brewery. They're out in California. This is their Melange number 3. And this comes from my brother Rico. Sent me this great big 750 milliliter bottle. And the note he sent with this says 2017, the Bruery Melange number 3, 16.3% ABV. Huge beer, big boys beer. Put your big boy britches on for this one, guys. If you're going to drink this one at home, please. If you drink this out somewhere, please have a designated driver. A glass of this at 16% is enough to get a DUI. One glass. So drink responsibly, guys. We don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to hurt anybody else. Says it's an American strong ale, a blend of their Black Tuesday, which I've had and was very tasty, and that's an Imperial Stout, and their White Oak Sap Wheat Wine and Anniversary Series Old Ale. So they blended this to come up with what they have here for this number 3. He said he bought it a couple days ago, and it was $28. Wow! Ouch! High dollar. This is not something you can pick up and drink it all yourself just to catch a buzz, unless you got deep pockets. This is a special occasion beer, especially since it's been done in bourbon barrels and it's in this great big bottle. Share it with your significant other, close friends, and pour everybody just a little bit of it and let them have a taste of it. The other half's going to get a glass of this, just like I'm going to get. He said this was first released in 2009 and has been brewed every year since. And he said it was bottled on February the 1st of 2017. So, sounds pretty tasty. I do like a nice American strong ale, especially if it's been done in bourbon barrels. I'm a sucker for those bourbon barrel aged beers. Commercial description is the same thing that I just read from Rico's notes here. As far as IBUs, I very seriously doubt we're going to have that information. We do not. Untapped does not have anything. Gravity does not have anything. We just know it's a great big monster, 16.3%. Final beer of the evening for me. I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. The commercial description on Untapped is exactly the same thing that I read you from Rico. And they say on Untapped, extended barrel aging lends flavors of vanilla, spice, and rich caramel. So let's get this thing down and try to get, and they do their caps a little different than Avery and some of the others do. They have it's like a wine bottle. It doesn't have a cork, but usually it has a little thing here that you can, well, now that I say it's easy to get into, I'm having trouble getting into it. It's this little zip string that's on there, but then it's still kind of hard, so what I end up doing is taking this, my little trusty knife, and running down the side of it, and then usually this comes off in one piece. Like that. And I don't have a problem with that, guys. The wax is what I hate. So, and these caps on these big 750 milliliters are bigger than what's on the 12-ounce bottle. So sometimes it takes me a couple of attempts to get this opener down in there to get that big cap. There we go. But it does come off and it does work. If you need an opener or a t-shirt, let me know. Send me an email. All that information's in the more description. Just click on that more info and it'll tell you everything, the grades and the sites that I think you should go see. So, into the glass we go. Looks like a barley wine or a strong ale coming out. It's a nice mahogany, murky brown color. I will tell you the cheeses are nutty, Asiago, Colby, Parmesan, General Digestive. Last word, a pint Becker tumbler snifter. I got my favorite snifter, and it says it can be sold for a long period of time. I didn't see anything on the description or on the bottle that would keep you from doing that. Over to the light, it is a rich red mahogany color. A little bit of light coming to there. It looks a little bit more on the brown murky side down here. But it does have a little bit of mahogany reddish color to it. A little hint of that color. And on the front of the bottle it says ale aged in bourbon barrels. Then underneath there it has a description of their blending of the Black Tuesday and all the rest of the stuff that they use to put this together. So the brewery does some really tasty stuff. They put them in these great big high dollar bottles. I'm not aware of them doing anything like this in anything smaller. No cans, no 12-ounce bottles. I don't even think they do any 22-ounce bombers. They put them all in these great big wine size bottles, 750 milliliter. So it's time. Let's dive in. Let's see what we got. To the nose we go. Rich roasted malt, caramel, toffee. Definitely getting the bourbon. Now, if I'd have had this beer 10 years ago, 8 years ago, I started doing beer reviews in 2010, this would probably have blown my palate out of my mouth. It would have been way too boozy, too much alcohol. It all depends on where your palate is and what you're used to drinking and what you've had before. If you're going from a Budweiser, Miller, or Coors into something like this will put you face down in the dirt, and you probably will not like it. It'll be way too boozy. If you're a liquor drinker and you've had some of these American strong ales or some barley wines or stuff like that, it may not be too bad. But it is a big beer, guys. Your palate has to be able to take what you're drinking. You can't go from a 4 or 5%er into something like this. This is something you need to work your way into. So, like I said, if I'd have done this beer review in 2010, it would have probably kicked my ass all around the living room, out the front door, and around the back, everywhere. I mean, it would have been way too heavy for my palate at that time. So, just be aware of that. I mean, if you're not used to drinking this magnitude of a beer, or a bourbon barrel aged magnitude of a beer, this is probably going to be a little heavy for your palate. Just be aware of that. It smells wonderful to me, guys. It smells absolutely outstanding on the nose. Hint of some bittersweet chocolate, dark fruits. Definitely got the bourbon notes going on. So let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. It smells awesome, guys. It really does. Wow. Slightly on the boozy side. I will say that's still, with all the beers that I've tasted and reviewed, it's a little on the strong side with that much alcohol. It's not burning or doing anything like that, but it is a very heavy, strong alcohol beer. 16.3%. Just remember that. But it does have a very nice taste. I would not want to drink this out in a bar or a brew pub and try to drive. Would not. I've been drinking beer for 40 years. Longer than that, 45 years. And this is not something that I would want to drink unless I was at home. So that's just my opinion. I don't want to be looking at that flashlight and the long arm of Johnny Law. If you had anything to drink, I've had one beer. Yeah, but it was a 16.3%er. Alright, and you're out there touching your nose and walking the line and all that stupid shit. Don't do it. Just say no. And if you do it, Make sure you got a designated driver. Take an Uber, a taxi, or whatever. Best thing to do is just have it at home, have some close friends over, and share it with some friends. That way, you're not driving anywhere, and hopefully the people you're sharing it with, there's at least one of them that's not drinking this, or they all need to stay over. You need to put them all up. Hey, y'all all, if you drink this, you're not driving home. You're going to stay here. So that's how I feel about it, guys. I don't want to see anybody get in trouble. You get a DUI in this state, you're looking at 10 grand or more, and they do that to inconvenience you financially and in every way they can. The days of drinking and driving are over. Drink them at home. That's what I do. Yeah. Very delicious. Big time bourbon notes. Big time. Taking up the whole front seat, maybe even the second seat. Very tasty beer, guys. Very, very tasty beer. This is an outstanding beer. And it ought to be. If you're paying $28 for a bottle of beer, it ought to blow your hair back and your socks off. It ought to be super impressive. It ought to be something you would remember. And I got a feeling this is where this is going to end up. So it's right out of the fridge. Let me sip on it for a little while. Step out on the deck. Maybe fire up a cigar to go with this and sip on it for a while. It'll come up to room temperature. Pour her a glass. And see what we got. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little bit left here. Been sipping on it about 30 minutes or so. The notes on this beer have come out. The bourbon is there. The roasted malt is there. I'm getting hints of some vanilla. Maybe a slight hint of some coconut, tobacco, bittersweet chocolate, caramel, toffee, molasses. Awesome beer. Awesome beer. The bourbon notes are there. And it's still there. I mean, it's warmed up to room temperature. The bourbon is taking up the first couple of seats. If it was a school bus, half the seats would be taken up by the bourbon. Awesome beer. Absolutely outstanding. And it ought to be. If you're paying $28 for a bottle of this size, it ought to blow your hair back. It ought to blow your socks off. It ought to be very impressive. And this is. Just a little bit on the hot side, being as fresh as it is. The alcohol is there. It is very present. I'm getting just a slight hint of a little bit of burning on the throat, but you got to realize how fresh this beer is and how big it is. 16.3%. Massive beer. It's an outstanding beer, guys. It is. And I'm probably going to go against the grain a little bit on this one from what I've read and what I've seen from the other sites. I think it's an outstanding beer, a great beer to share with your significant other, close friends, or whatever. Pour a little bit for everybody. They will be impressed with this if their palate can handle this magnitude of a beer. American Strong Ale, Bourbon Barrel Aged, first run barrels, I am sure. So, and when I say first run, a barrel that has never had beer in it before. Outstanding aroma. Wow. Delicious. Final chug. Wow. Other than being a little hot, a little boozy, and that will subside probably a little bit if you age this beer a little bit. 2, 3, 5, 10, or even longer. Wow. Outstanding, guys. I really enjoyed this. She loved it. She loved it. And she's a big fan of these bourbon barrel aged beers, just like I am. When I get these beers, I'm going, a bourbon barrel aged version. And there's, especially when they do the first run bourbon barrels that's never had beer in them before, and they leave it in there long enough to get those big bourbon notes, which they've done here. Impressive, super impressive, guys. And like I said, I'm probably going to go against the grain. This is a 10 beer. This is a 10 beer. It's a 100 in my scale. A great candidate seller. Pick up 2 of them. Have one of them now if you can afford that. I mean, this is not a cheap bottle of beer to buy. Pick up one, have it fresh, and then sell it for 3, 5, 10 years. And then see how the beer has matured and see how much easier drinking it is after it has a little bit of age on it. This is, like I said, this would have been a great candidate for me to put in the closet and let it sit there for 3, 5, 10 years before I did the review on it. I think it would be, the taste would have combined and it would come together a whole lot better than it has being a 2017 edition of this beer. So very tasty, guys. Very, very tasty. It is a little on the hot side, being fresh as it is. And it was done in February. And this is end of September. So it's been in the bottle for quite a while already. But still a little on the hot side. But still very tasty. A great final beer of the evening, which it is for me. Like I said, 10 for me, 100. We'll run over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 95.4. I think it's better than that. I really do. And over to Untapped for our final check-in. They say it is 4.32. That is definitely in their solid A category. Both of those ratings are solid A's. I'm giving it to A+. Other than being a little boozy and a little hot, being a 2017 edition, I think it's worthy of the 10 scale, the 100 for me. Like I said, if I'd have done this beer 7 years ago when I first started doing beer reviews, this would probably blow my palate out of my mouth. I probably would not have liked it. Right now, I think it's very impressive. So, and that's how it goes a lot of times. If your palate can't handle what you're drinking, you're not going to like it. And if your palate can, if you've drank beers that has that magnitude of an ABV and the bourbon notes that this one has, you may find it very enjoyable. And I did. Like I said, the other half loved it. And I agree. It is a very tasty beer. So, we've got both the grades from everybody. I think it's a little better than what they are giving it. But it is a great candidate to sell it for a while if you so choose to. So, that's how we're going to wrap it up on this one. If you've had this one from the brewery, this is Melange number 3. And I have another one from them. It's their Melange number 14, I think, that Rico sent me. We may do that next or sometime very, very soon. I'm anxious. These guys do a great job in producing these very heavy alcohol beers that are bourbon barrel aged. Even though they're pricey beers and they're in the 750 milliliter bottles usually, I think they do a great job. And I graded it accordingly, guys. I am very impressed with this. It's a very, very tasty beer. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Rico, my brother, thanks again. I do appreciate it, sir. If you've had this one from the brewery, this is their Melange number 3, or Melange number 3, M-E-L-A-N-G-E number 3. Let me know what you think. And until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge. See everybody then.